Boxleitner's back with us. He has his own parking spot out front now.
Yeah,
He's been here so many times. He's talking about his
cars in
new
the garage, actually.
Hallmark Channel Original Movie. So you said yes.
Yes.
Before we get into that, you were yawning, saying I was up a little late last night.
Yeah, you were with Debbie.
Yeah.
I know. I was talking to Debbie at the AARP Awards.
Right. What are those, by the way? It's the 14th annual.
Yes.
Yeah, what is it? And did you get one?
No.
You presented, I
But I
believe,
got
right?
a wonderful steak dinner.
Oh, did you?
No, I got to see all the Academy, I think who's going to be the Academy Award winners. They were all there last night.
Really?
Julianne Moore, Eddie Redmayne, Felicity Jones, J.K. Simmons from Whiplash, which I haven't seen, and makes me think I've got to catch up on more of the screeners that I got. And all these people were there. Kevin Costner was the recipient of the it's kind of a lifetime achievement or career achievement awards, but it's called AARP Movies for Grown-Ups Awards.
Right.
And
So you had
nothing
to be a
against
grown-up.
Marvel comics and capes and tights and superheroes and heroines. This is more about the movies that we're starting to see now again, more personal movies.
Yeah.
Personal statement movies, you know.
Our Debbie Metanopolis caught up with you on the red carpet.
Yes, she did.
Because she's only a new mom of a 3-month-old. We thought we'd send her out and keep her out later.
Yeah, right.
So,
That's right, keep her up late.
All right.
But she always does a great job. Let's take a look at her in action.
When was the first time you felt like a grown-up?
Well, tell you the truth, when my son Sam was born 34 years ago. Okay?
Beautiful.
I think that's what finally told me I had better grow up.
If you could trade places with any grown-up, who would it be?
Any grown up?
Yeah.
He's going to kill me. Mark Cristina, I think.
Me too. I'd like to trade places with him as well.
Really?
I knew it.
Really?
Well, I knew it was coming here.
You're the first person to accuse me of being grown up, just so you know.
That's
Child
for
that it
sure.
was.
Well, look at this show, how successful it is. The two of you, you're wonderful grown-ups.
Well,
Come
thank
on.
you, and you are too, with your Cedar Cove
Well,
and
I
everything
tried
else
to.
you're doing. Well, you know, you can see more of Debbie's interview with Bruce and other stars like, let's see, there was Kevin Costner, Joan Collins was there, there's
Joan
Valerie
Collins.
Harper, and so much more.
Oh, my gosh.
And next Tuesday, when we are joined by APP's West Coast editor, actually, is going to be here, and the movie critic Meg Grant is going to be here.
Meg Ryan's not
Yeah,
gonna make
no,
it.
Meg
Are
Ryan
you-
can't make it, although she's a member of AARP.
We are. Yeah.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess she is.
I guess if you're over.
I have a question for you, though,
are.
because we were just talking about this in the break too a little bit. Are you a fan of those raw romantic comedies, just romantic films?
Well, I don't know about you, but I've actually liked the old ones when they were really romantic.
Doris Day, Rock Hudson?
Not
Does that go that far back?
That was my
Too
mom's.
far back.
No, actually, I like Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn, Bringing Up Baby. They were rom-coms, a lot of those things. But you think of the great epic love stories. Dr. Zhivago. I remember growing up and watching those movies. They're mostly love stories set with some great historical backdrop. That's what used to capture me as a young guy, you know.
Right.
The Graduate.
Gone with the Wind. That was a little dysfunctional, but oh well. It taught me a few lessons about how real life was going to happen.
But it does. I mean, we'd shared a little bit when we saw each other a couple of weeks back, and it's tough because I'd gone through my divorce, and it's tough to keep hope alive for love when you're like, oh, I've done that, I've been down that road. But it's so important, and movies like this help open you up to those things.
They do, and with So You Said Yes, I'm playing a character that was a little near to me. I mean,
How so?
near and dear. Well, he was a guy. He'd been married twice. I have been, but he was. Well, I think you'll see it in the clip that we're doing. That he's kept hopeful, and he wants to imbue this on his daughter, who is. She's busy making money, making a career, but she's just blocking out any kind of love life, and she's got to live more. She's got to. That'll make her complete. And coming from him, who was never around in her childhood, it's just interesting. I related a lot to it.
Let's take a look at this.
Do you love him?
Yes.
Good. Tell me, any talk about the future? Or...
Isn't the whole point of life to stay in the moment?
Yeah.
Like you always say, there's no time like the present.
You know, it's funny. Ever since you were a little girl, you've always been fearless. And every time you wanted a new challenge, you chucked whatever security you had and you went for it. And those risks have always worked out for you. But when it comes to love, you always play it safe.
That's not true. I haven't played at all.
Be fearless in all parts of your life, Annabelle. Especially the ones that involve your heart. I promise you, payoff's a lot bigger when you do.
That is really lovely. I see that you're giving love advice to Kelly Martin, who plays your daughter in the movie.
Yes, she plays my daughter.
Yes, she does. She does. Yes, yes.
Let's make that evident.
But do you find yourself giving advice to your grown-up children? Love advice?
Lately, they've been giving Dad.
Oh, the tables have turned, the great circle
Yes,
of life.
they have. They have. My
Well, what do
oldest
they
is
say?
34, and he's just given me a beautiful granddaughter. My first.
Congratulations.
Yeah. November 26th, Lulabelle Rose was born.
Lulabelle.
Named after two great-grandmothers. And no, I have over the years, you know, but I should probably listen to my own advice more.
Do you hear it coming back? Because the advice
Yes,
you gave to
yes.
them, it's the same thing you shared with them, and they're just reminders.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe I
that's
have.
the
Yeah,
case.
yeah.
So, are you? By the way, your Valentine's Day. Do you have plans? Have you?
I think I think I said earlier, I think every day should be Valentine's Day when you're in a loving relationship. We all try, you know. But I think the traditional, it's more a beautiful romantic dinner, card, flowers, candy, those kind of things. But especially the card, because I know women love to keep
This is.
that card. If
Yeah.
you've sat down and
Right.
written something that came from you,
Yeah.
am I right, ladies?
Well, it's
Is
lovely to
this
look
the
at the
They'll keep that in a drawer somewhere.
Is this the recipient of the card, the said card you may have sent out, or the said flowers you may?
Because she's lovely.
Yes, she's standing right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, good for
Verena.
you. All right.
You know
your
what?
parking spot is going to be here, so you can come back anytime you want to hang out with us.
Thank you, Mark.
I appreciate
Yeah, and
it.
I
Because
have
I've got to
to-
hang out with the guy I think is the best grown-up ever. So.
Yeah, but you know, but I'm not worried about these guys. They're going to find major love.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, he has.
I know.
Okay, be sure to catch Hallmark Channel's original movie. So You Said Yes. It's premiering this Saturday, February 7th at 8 p.m. 7 Central. All right.